The Bible says it's better to be a poor but wise youth rather than an old, rich, and foolish king, because the Bible says that poor and wise youth can rise from his poverty by his wisdom. And the Lord was just ministering to me that riches and money are not going to be what restores this camper, but it's going to be wisdom from the Lord. You know, the Bible even talks about how wisdom was there with God when he said, let there be light. When he said, let there be a firmament between the waters above and the waters beneath. Like when God created this world, when he created this universe, wisdom says God created this universe by me. So the objective in what I'm saying is that wisdom, I have access to that same wisdom that God had when he said, let there be light. And so that wisdom is what's going to restore this camper here. And I've been recording for the last 3 days. I've been working on it for 3 days, doing demo, reframing the floors and things like that. And so I'm gonna start the video and just let y'all follow me along this 3 or 4 day journey and see how far the camper has come already. It's I.A.G Farms. It's all about God. So it's been probably about maybe 2-3 hours since that last clip that I showed you, and I've pretty much got most of the floor torn out now, and I got a lot of the walls torn down. But I'll walk y'all in there and show y'all what's going on. It's kind of dark, so you can barely see because there are no lights in there, but I got just a little work light in there. So y'all just bear with me on the lighting in the old dark camper. But it's starting to come together in there. Like I said, I pretty much got everything ripped out on the floor side. I got a couple of things to sure up a little bit, and then I'm gonna make a lumber run once my wife gets here, and then I start framing this floor back in. And once I get through framing the floor in, I go ahead and start on the walls. But let's walk in here and I'll show you what I've done so far. All right, y'all. So like I said, the lighting is terrible in here, so bear with me. And then my my work light here, one of my bulbs went out. But as you can see, I've tore into that whole room there, and I pretty much gutted that whole bathroom back there because of that wall over there was mainly where a lot of the leaks were. And as you can see, I had a floor tore out, and that black lining is just like the moisture barrier that's down there. I was trying my best not to tear that up because it's still in good shape. And so let me walk in a little bit. There are metal beams going through here, and I'm just walking on these metal beams here to not tear up the moisture barrier. The metal beams from the frame. But yeah, so as you see, I have all that. Well, I don't have the rotten wood taken out yet because all of that wood that's lining on the metal, I'm gonna take all that down as well and reframe that. I just ain't got a chance to take that down yet, and I kind of wanted to kind of see, leave it up there so I can know how it is, because I'm gonna frame it back in just like it is, and I didn't want to tear that down before I got my material and forget, you know, what the framing looks like. So I'm gonna get my material, and then I'm gonna rip down the rest of that wood you see on the that's framed in, and then I'm gonna get in here and frame this floor. You know, just keep on working it down a little bit by little bit. But my goal is to, you know, if I can, I want to get this floor back framed in today, and that's really my goal for the day. But if not, you know, I get it framed in the morning. Like I said, I'm gonna go to the lumber yard and get some lumber, get some material, and then see what else I can get done today. Yep. Step back out here. But yeah, the camper restoration is in full force. It's coming along well, and you know, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this process looks like when it's done, and you know, I believe it's gonna turn out to be a beautiful little camper for our family to stay in for, you know, for a while until you know, we outgrow it, or until we get the resurrection cabin done, or whatever the Lord, you know, wants us to do. But yeah, so I got a few more things to gut in there. I'm gonna cut out some more of that floor, and I'm gonna start ripping down some of the wall and some of the ceiling and things. But next time y'all see me, we'll be making a lumber run, and we'll have some lumber, and we're gonna start framing this floor back in. Alright, got loaded up on lumber and headed back to the house to get started framing some floors. I'll see y'all back at the house when it's time to frame some floors. I.A.G Farms, all about God. Good morning to everybody. It's the next day, and I'm back out here in the camper workshop, aka under the shed. And we use this shed for worship services, and you know, I've had old tractors parked up under here working on them. This is my second camper I've had out here parked under here working on it. Actually, you can kind of see that the camper is kind of leaning on one side because from the last camper, that fifth wheel, big old fifth wheel I bagged it in here, and put some big old deep tire marks because, you know, that fifth wheel was so heavy. It was like a 40 foot fifth wheel, and that joker was heavy. It was like 13,000 pounds, and it left some tire marks, and those same tire marks are still there, probably what, 2-3 years later. Yep. But you know, that's one of the reasons why we got a smaller camper, you know, because you know, that big old fifth wheel was just too big, you know, and this camper here is probably too small, you know. So we're really trying to find that sweet spot, you know, to the size camper that we need. And once we find that right size camper that we need, you know, for our family, you know, where you can tow it easily, you know, maneuver it in and out easily, you know, we'll probably keep it. And so once we get through restoring this one, we'll kind of see you know, how it feels, you know, because I know it's gonna kind of feel a little small because the fifth wheel was perfect on space, you know, because the kids had their little bunkhouse in the back, and we had our own bedroom, had 2 bathrooms, had a shower and a laundry room, and it had all type of things. But it was just so big, you know, you couldn't comfortably pull it around and move it around and maneuver it, you know. But I had the right truck. I got this diesel 7.3 diesel truck here, but it was still a challenge to move it around. But yeah, I'm gonna just show y'all around this morning, the work site, before I get started. Today's goals are to frame in this floor. And if any of you are wondering, how does the actual camper attach to the framing, you know, the framing part attached to the actual frame, I'm gonna show you that as I'm walking you around, because it took me a while to figure it out, because I was like, how does this you know, how am I gonna attach the you know, the new boards to the frame? Because at first I thought that you drill like a, you know, self-tapping metal screw down through the boards into the metal frame, but that's not what you do. It's some connection points on the sides where you attach it, you know, with like a bolt. You bolt it down to the frame, just like you do with a house, like on the foundation, on the corners, on the edges, and then you just frame everything from there. I'm gonna show y'all around the work site this morning, and it's a blessing to have this shed here, because if I didn't have this shed, I couldn't restore this camper, you know, because it's been raining for the last couple days, and you know, the roof is bad, and so you know, since I had this shed here, I don't really have to worry about the rain. And like I said, we turned it into a workshop on some days. It's a prayer room on other days, and it's a worship zone on other days. But you know, it's really just a, you know, a place where we can, you know, have a covering. You know, we're not too big on church buildings, you know, because the church is not a building. The church is the people, you know. So we just had this shed here just to cover us, you know, and protect us from the elements, you know. And that can be a gathering of believers that's having a worship service, or that can be a camper that's being restored, you know, because it's all the redemption of Christ, you know, taking these dry, broken, rotten things and bringing life to them. You know, that's our heart. That's our heart. That's really our heart, is to bring life to things that are dry. You know, just like we asked that question about the resurrection cabin, can these dry bones live? And the Lord tells us to speak to these bones, prophesy to these bones, like love on them, like touch them, you know, like for real. Let them know that you shall live. You shall live. So yeah, get y'all a peek in here. See what I'm seeing. Got the floor ripped out. And like I said, I'm gonna get it back framed in. And everything on this side of the camper, where you see all the flooring and the shower, refrigerator, oven, hot water heaters down there in that cabinet there. Sink. I got some cabinets up there as well. But everything on this side, you can see where I kind of stopped cutting the floor out. Everything on that side was dry, and it was really just from the roof leaking on this side, which I'm gonna replace the entire roof. Like, I'm gonna take this whole roof off of this camper, and y'all will see that whole process. I'm gonna try my best to record it all. I'm gonna take this whole roof off, but first I need to get to this floor, because that's always your first goal when you're restoring things, you know, is to get a good foundation. And so I got all this rotten wood ripped out on the floor, and I got a little bit fine tuning to do. But let me show you how the camper attaches to the frame. So let's see if you can see. I'm gonna show you this bolt. I'm gonna push it up from the bottom. You see that bolt there? And then that bolt goes through the bottom here of the frame. And I'm gonna cut all these old bolts off. And I have a bag of goodies over here. And I got all type of supplies yesterday at the supply store. And I have a whole box of new bolts here that I'm gonna use to secure the new frame floor to the frame. And so pretty much I'm gonna frame in, going all the way around all of the borders, around the edges of the whole camper. And what I'm gonna do is, they had 2x2s, what they use for framing, but I have some 2x3s. I'm gonna show you those. Like I said, I'm just kind of walking you around, because I know when I get to start working, I don't do a whole lot of talking and explaining, so I want to explain things to you. So these are 2x3s, and what they originally built the camper with was 2x4s, and so I wanted to go a little bit more beefy, And so I'm using not 2x4s. They originally built the camper with 2x2s. And so I'm gonna go a little bit more beefy, and I'm gonna reframe it with 2x3s. You know, I was gonna use 2x4s, but I said I don't wanna make it too heavy. But yeah, our plan is to pull it around with our big truck, because even in its lightest form, it's too big for our van to pull around. So yeah, you frame it around the whole border, and then you attach that border frame, you know, around the edges of the bottom, on each corner with those lag bolts, with those screws, and then you frame from that, you know, from where you're gonna have that board at, you just frame over, and then you have brace points here every now and then of the frame. And so y'all will see what I'm talking about when I start framing it. I'm gonna redo that walling around that shower as well. My wife said she want that sink pulled out from right there. She said the camper's so small, I really don't need a sink, so we're gonna put the toilet there, and we're gonna have a real small little bathroom. And then my wife was saying that she want to put the boys' bunk beds back there, and then we'll have a big bed here that works for us. And we're thinking about putting maybe another bed up there, like a smaller bed, but we haven't figured it out yet. But so as soon as you walk in the camper, what you're gonna see is this big bed that'll be sitting here, big nice plush bed, and we're gonna try to figure out a way to have it come in like this and then curve there, so that it won't be in the way of the door. And then that bed, we'll have a bunch of pillows and, you know, nice things on the bed, so you can sit there as well during the day. And then we're gonna figure out some type of way to build like some type of little bench here, you know, in this little spot here where they had these, you know, they had some a booth here. But we're gonna figure out a way to put like some extra seating right there, a little bench, and then be bunk beds back there, and then the bathroom will be there. I'll probably frame it in, put a little wall, you know, there. The toilet will be there. You had a tub. My wife was saying that she gonna have it set up to where you can wash your hands, you know, in the tub, or you can either come out and wash your hands, you know, in the sink here. It's not that far of a walk, you know. Yeah, this camper is gonna have multiple purposes on the farm. You know, we're gonna use it to spend the night and get projects done. It's also gonna be a break room, because as you all have seen on our videos, we have teams that come down to the farm, you know, because our farm is a ministry, and we have teams that come down, you know. And you know, the last team that came down, y'all saw the video with Cyrone and his family. His daughter, you know, didn't have a place to use the bathroom, and you know, they actually had to leave so that she could use the bathroom, and we don't want that to happen, you know. So we're gonna have a compost toilet in there, you know, for the ladies to use the bathroom when teens come down. And yeah, so we might, I would like to get some solar panels to have a camper solar powered, but you know, we're in the woodlands, so it's not a whole lot of sun out there. But we get a little bit of sun out there, you know, if I park it in the right spot away from the trees. But I really want to be like right in the middle of the woods, like way back in there, you know. So I don't know if solar panels are gonna work, but we're definitely gonna put a battery on here. And I'm gonna redo this wiring too. Like I said, it's gonna be a full restoration. I'm gonna redo this wiring, because I've been saving all the wiring from what I've been tearing down. But before I started working on it, they came in and tore some stuff down and kind of tore some of the wires up. They weren't being careful when they were tearing things down. So I'm gonna get in here and rewire what needs to be rewired and test everything out to make sure nothing is a fire hazard. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into it. Like I said, I just wanted to get on the video and do a little talking before I get started working, because you know, once I start working, I really don't have an opportunity to talk a whole lot. And my wife, she works part-time at a college in the English department. She's a writing major, and so she works part-time and for the first part of the day. So she's not here to record for the first part of the day, but then once, you know, lunchtime comes, she's back home to homeschool the boys, and so she's not able to come out and record then either, because she's in there homeschooling. But yeah, so maybe she'll come out and help me record a little bit, but if not, I'll just set y'all up on the camera stand and I'll get to work. So I.A.G Farms, it's all about God. Let's see what we can get done today. All right, y'all, it's the next day, and I'm gonna take y'all inside and kind of show y'all what the floor is looking like. As you saw yesterday, it was a hard day. It's one of the hardest days so far, and I got a lot done though. And like I said, I ended up yesterday covered from head to toe in dirt, as y'all saw in the video. But I'm gonna turn the camera around and show y'all what the floor is looking like now. I had the floor completely framed up, and I'm finna head to the part house or to the lumber yard to get some insulation to put in the floor in between the joists. And then I'm gonna put the subfloor on. As you see, I have my subfloor already laid out, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my subfloor cut up. And well, after I get back from the lumber yard, getting insulation, I'm gonna probably get some styrofoam insulation instead of the insulation that they had in here. I think the styrofoam works a little bit better on these old campers, you know, because of the moisture and the, you know, sometimes it's metal, you know, these walls will kind of sweat, so that styrofoam, you know, it doesn't absorb it like the regular insulation does. But let me turn you around. Let's see this floor, and then I'm finna get ready to head to the part house, to the lumber yard at least, to get some insulation. All right, so I just started the door and started showing y'all. As you see, we have the subfloor down right here, and the way that I set it up, I did it on purpose because I wanted to add like a little accent to the floor and let it not all be flat. And so right here is gonna kind of be a step up. You know, you're gonna step from there to there, and then it's gonna step up into the flat floor. As you can see in this section right here, where I have the subfloor down already, then I have a 2x6 under here going across, and then that 2x6 is bolted down to the frame, so it's not going anywhere. That should last for a while. And you step in onto the step up, and then here's your flat floor. It's gonna go all the way through. As you can see, I have it framed in. I probably over framed it, but I wanted it to be solid because I didn't want it to go anywhere. Because we're gonna have our kids in here, they're gonna be jumping around and playing and fighting and doing all type of crazy stuff. So I wanted it to be solid so the floor doesn't bounce and move around. Let me walk down here and show you from this side. As you can see, I'm walking on it. It's not going anywhere. It's solid, like super solid. And as I said on some of the last clips, this is 2x3s. I didn't go with 2x4s like I wanted to. I said I better not put too much weight on this little camper, but I wanted to go with something more solid than what they had, you know, from the factory. Because from the factory, because you see on this wall, I hadn't tore down this rotten wood yet, because I hadn't got to framing the walls yet. And as you can see, there's a hole in the roof. I hadn't got to framing the roof yet. I'm just focusing on the foundation right now. But so you see, I got it bolted down in all the corners. That's how the actual walls and the frame and the framing connects to the, you know, to the metal, to the actual metal frame of the camper. Let me show you the other parts where I got it bolted down. So you see right there, those silver bolts, and then you'll see some over there as well. So around the whole edge and perimeter of the camper is bolted down to the frame, and that little piece right there is bolted down well as well. And I tried to you know, frame it up real sturdy right in this section, because you know that's the first spot where you're gonna step it, you know, when you come in every day. And so yeah, I got the floor framed out, and what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna come in. I'm actually finna go on the lumber run. Yeah, let me get out here where the lighting is a little better. But I'm actually gonna go on the lumber run and head to Home Depot to get some styrofoam insulation, because they had like regular household insulation in this camper, but I think that styrofoam insulation is a little bit better, because these metal walls, they sweat, you know, and that regular insulation, you know, will absorb that moisture, but the styrofoam, you know, kind of reflects it, and they have like this little silver lining, and you'll see when I get it. But I'm gonna get some insulation and get insulation put in all these gaps, these spaces, and then I have to go on my subfloor. And you see I got my subfloor over here. We're going with a 1/2-inch plywood, and I didn't get tongue and groove or anything like that. That stuff was already too expensive. It's just those 3 sheets of plywood there were like $120, $130. You know, it's super expensive. And so I think I'm trying to remember how much the tongue and groove plywood was. I think it was like $50 or $60 per sheet. So I got this, and this was like $30, $40 a sheet. And so yeah, I'm finna get ready to head to the lumber yard, and like I said, get some insulation. And then I think I'm gonna end this video here, because you know, I've showed so much on this video already. This video is probably gonna end up being an hour. You know, I might do it in 4K and make it like a little movie, little premiere. But yeah, so we're gonna end the video right here. And so far y'all have seen me demo the camper. Y'all have seen me start to reframe the floors, and next we're gonna come in and we're gonna start reframing these walls, and then we'll tackle the roof. And then once the roof is tackled, I'm gonna also do some electrical. As you see, some of the electrical wires are kind of hanging. The previous owners, when they started demoing right here in this section right here, they tore down some wires and they disconnected them. Looked like they cut them off. And so all the wires that I tore down as I was demoing, I saved them. I didn't damage any of the wires. You know, they were just a little bit you know, careless when they were tearing things down. But it's fine, you know, it's fine. You know, that's one of the reasons we were able to get this camper so cheap. And it's gonna, you know, be a pretty quick and easy, you know, flip process. And we'll be camping out in this camper before you know it. And so I know it seems crazy, like, oh man, $200 camper, they should have gave it to you. But in all actuality, you know, it has a good frame, and you know, it has good tires, and it's not gonna take a whole lot of work, you know, or a whole lot of money. I would imagine we're gonna spend about, at the most, $2,500 repairing this camper. But depending on, like, you know, how well I do the stuff, I can do it for cheaper, and probably spend around $1,000 and have it complete. But yeah, we're gonna try to do it good and have it nice, and then let my wife get in here and start decorating things. That's what's gonna cost more money, or making it look pretty, you know. So yeah. But all right, y'all. So yeah, you see the smoke going. That's for the mosquitoes. If y'all were wondering, mosquitoes are pretty bad up under here, and the smoke runs them away. All right, y'all. So that's gonna be it for this video. On next video, y'all will see me putting in styrofoam insulation, putting on the subfloor, and then y'all will see me start to frame in these walls. And I gotta figure out what type of boards I'm gonna use to frame the walls in with. But that'll be it for today, and y'all just stay tuned for the next one. It's I.A.G Farms. It's all about God. Camper restoration.